kwani sisi ni wanani?
Maureen Njeri, a victim, said she had been kicked out of her house for failing to pay rent and called on the president to intervene. Her neighbor Julius Mungai accused government for neglecting their plight and breaking its promise.
Sina mtu akuja kunigonga mlango lipa ama kunifungia nyumba. Naweza sikia vizuri. Naweza kuwa na raha.
However, John Kinuthia remains hopeful that the government will eventually fulfill its commitment.
Katai finance bill ilianguka na ndio ilikuwa ipitishe hii mradi. Lakini kwa sasa tunaomba juu wengi wetu tumefubiwa manyumba, tutaenda wapi?
Area MCA Eliud Kamau stated that most victims had been residing in rental houses in Mai town, with well-wishers covering their rent for 3 months, and since the 3-month period had elapsed, the victims find themselves between a hard place and a rock.
Hata peni moja imeweza kutolewa kwa ajili ya wao. Ni kweli kabisa tunajua ya kwamba nchi ambao economy status ambao tuko nayo na hali ambao tunapitia, lakini vizuri kwa sababu president alikuja, deputy president alikuja na wakaahidi ya kwamba wataweza kuseto hawa watu wetu. Sasa ni watu wabie ni njia ipi?
Naivasha MP Jen Kihara noted that the planned resettlement hung in the balance after the finance bill was rejected.
Kuna shida yenyewe, kuna pesa kama mimi nilikuwa nimeweka hapo. Ile janga ilifanyika Mai, kulikuwa na pesa kununulia hao mahali ya kukaa na kuwajengea.
More than 60 lives were lost, with property worth millions of shillings swept away by the deluge in April this year. Electin Odera, K24 TV.
Cabinet Secretary nominee for Communication and Technology Margaret Nyambura Ndungu has made a strong commitment to uphold media freedom while appearing before the National Assembly's Committee on Appointments for vetting. Dr. Ndungu vowed to support and protect the independence of the media, emphasizing her unwavering commitment to ensure that all her actions and policies will be guided by the principles enshrined in the Constitution. Majibu Ketsao with more.
Dr. Margaret, from your very rich CV.
The CS nominee for Communication and Technology, Margaret Nyambura Ndungu, was the 5th and last nominee who appeared before the MPs for vetting today.
What mechanism or measure are you going to put in place?
The 50-year-old former lecturer at the University of Nairobi with a rich background in information system outlined her vision for the ministry if confirmed.
Konza, which is one of the flagship projects of 2030 and actually is still one of the projects that Kenya Kwanza government is focused on. One of the plans that need one of the strategic plan is to establish a software engineering center.
Coming at a time when journalists have decried violence amid rising threats to press freedom, Ndungu underscored the importance of the media in shaping public opinion and the necessity for journalists and media houses to adhere to ethical standards while ensuring content remains appropriate and respectful.
And the media is regulated by the Media Act that stipulates the code of conduct for the media practitioners and journalists. And enforcement of that is critical, and then accompanied by the Data Protection Act that clearly shows what is private, what is not private. The expectation is self-regulation and self-censorship. But in the event that this does not happen, there are complaint mechanisms through the Media Council of Kenya and through the Media Complaint Commission where this can be followed. The media following their code of conduct, is it the right information? Is it factual? Have they checked the integrity of the information? So those are some of the self-regulations that we'll be pushing as a ministry to ensure that when we are exercising our rights as per the constitutions, we are abiding by the rules at the same time.
On computer misuse and cybercrime, she affirmed that her actions and policies will be firmly guided by the Constitution.
There are rules and regulations guided by the Constitution that defines our responsibilities, but then there are sectoral policies and regulation, starting with the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act that clearly stipulate what what is considered a crime when you are using digital technologies, and the enforcing mechanism to ensure that everybody is safe and allowed to experience their freedom in the digital space.
Dr. Margaret Nyambura Ndungu has disclosed her net worth at 95.3 million, highlighting her financial portfolio comprises a diverse array of movable and immovable assets.
My net worth is 95,323,000. 95 million.
Okay. Made out of?
Movable assets, 5.5 million. Immovable assets, 54 million.
If approved, she will make her debut appearance in cabinet, taking over from Eliud Owalo.
Creation of great
Majibu Kitsao for K24 TV, Nairobi.
Away from that, the government is being urged to enhance the safety and security of rangers in an aim to conserve and maintain natural resources in the country. This follows a report by the Kenya Forest Service indicating that this year alone at least 16 rangers lost their lives, with over 30 others injured in the line of duty. This comes just days as Kenya joined the rest of the world to observe the World Rangers Day, aimed at recognizing the role that rangers play to protect the planet's biodiversity. Gertrude Bugay has more.
35-year-old Pastor Ngala is a forest ranger at the Kenya Forest Service in Nairobi. For 23 years, Ngala has served as a ranger in several conservation areas across the country. Despite this being his cherished career, the 35-year-old narrates the darker side that confronts their work in conservation.
Kuna ranger ambaye tulifanya kazi na yeye, although baadaye mimi nikatoka, alikuwa patrol. Wakapatana na watu wakata miti. So before wapatana na watu walisikia sauti. Sasa wakiwa na wenzake because walikuwa timu kama watu 5. Wakaulizana nao hebu tuone vile mtu hataweza kupotea. Sasa katika harakati vile ya kujipanga, huyu ranger mahali alikuwa amesimama ikawa ndio huyo jamaa anakimbilia huko. Sasa yule mwalifu alikuja na akagonga askari na akakufa na akiwa na bunduki. Kuna wale ambao wameenda kazi yao ni kwenda kuiba miti. Hao wanakuanga na panga, kuna jembe, kuna hiyo panga nimesema na vifaa zingine mingi. Sasa katika wakati akisikia, because yeye akiwa pale anaona hajaonekana. Na sisi kama rangers tunafanya kitu tunaitwa targeted patrols. Niko na sources zangu zinaniambia kuna mtu ameingia mahali fulani. So wakati umefika pale, katika hiyo harakati anaona maybe mbio hataweza. Sasa unaona yeye anakuja tu kwako.
Monica Wanjiru holds a 4-year experience as a forest ranger. In a male-dominated industry, the 32-year-old forms one of the few women in the sector, an experience she terms as both a challenge and an achievement.
As a woman being a ranger, the challenges we face mostly are working for long hours. You know, most of us ladies, we have children, we are married, so it's hard to explain to your family that you have to work for long hours as a ranger. Most of them they don't come in terms with that, so that's a challenge as ladies. Also, there is something we call access control. When you do access control, you have to do something we call search. So when you do search as a lady, it's not well to do search to a man. Maybe you come across a logger who is a man, or a man, and you want to confirm if he has weapons or anything. So to do that search will be somehow.
A report by the Kenya Forest Service indicated that this year alone, at least 16 rangers lost their lives, with over 30 others injured in the line of duty across the country. In an effort to protect and conserve the country's natural resources, the government has been called upon to step up initiatives that will ensure a safe and conducive working environment for rangers across the country.
These include provision of medical cover, recognition and rewards for exemplary performance, provision of housing and promotions of rangers. Further, the service has adopted and leveraging technology to improve on efficiency of a ranger, and also detection of forest crimes. The use of drones, unmanned aerial vehicles in forest surveillance, and Survey 123 technologies are some of the milestones realized to improving work environment of a ranger.
This was the call to action during this year's celebration to observe the World Rangers Day. Despite the government's initiative to ensure a proper working environment for the rangers, the Kenya Forest Service still reports several threats and challenges, which is known to undermine the work in forest conservation.
Mostly in heavy rains, those loggers or chakobanners, they like to do their work when in rainy season or at night. So when climate change is considered, it's a challenge to us as rangers. Another challenge is threat from wild animals. As rangers, when we go for patrol, we come across those wild animals. The others, like the lions, hippos, they are wild. So you can be attacked by them, and you see they are animals. We have to also protect them, not to kill them.
Further, in the country's efforts to reverse the effects of climate change, the government has been called upon to uphold its promise in its agenda to plant 15 billion trees by the year 2030 as a means to preserve the biodiversity. To this end, the recruitment of more game and forest rangers is an appeal to the government, even in the wake of the rising cases of human-wildlife conflict.
May God bless our rangers.
Gertrude Burgay, K24 TV.
Well, thank you, Gertrude Bugay, for that report. And at this point, we take a commercial break and we'll be back with the latest sporting action. Stay tuned.
Bad breakfast experiences? I get it. Morning Vibe is here to switch it up. An experiential and interactive show to set your vibe just about right. I mean, vibes don't lie. Join me, Rami Majala, every Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9.